You know, as I've been sitting here dying and shit, I've been keeping my eyes on all of you guys. And I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of people out here that's just crazy out of their fucking mind. Because when it comes to Bryan Kohberger and the Idaho 4 murders, I'm just gonna be perfectly honest with you. They ain't got shit. And this may bother you because you may be rooting it on like, yeah, they got the killer. But they really ain't got shit. Legally, right now, Bryan Kohberger walks. That's the reality. I'm JB Gunner. This is Crime Time with JB Gunner. Let's go ahead and get on into this. I know you guys miss me. I miss you too. Love y'all. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go.
Bring it back.
Now, I've been hearing people, they've been texting, they've been emailing, they've been doing everything they can. JB, when you coming back, when you coming back, when you coming back? I'm back, at least for now. I do still have broken ribs. I think it's turning into pneumonia. I feel like complete shit. But I wanted to give you guys something here on your Friday, and I probably might be back a little bit later. I don't know if I have the ability to do a live stream. I don't know if I have the ability to do all this. I've been trying to recover, been trying to take it easy. But hey, some of you guys are making it easy for me, and I want to start by saying first and foremost, thank you to everybody that supports this channel and all my channels, regardless of the method you choose, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo, PayPal. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do if it wasn't for you, the Gun Squad. So thank you guys so much. With that being said, if you too find value in my content, feel free to hit the links down below. I know I'm not giving you a lot of content right now, obviously, so I understand if you don't. But to you guys that do, thank you guys so much. Let's go ahead and jump on into this because while I've been down, what has been released is the search warrant for Bryan Kohberger's home. And I keep seeing YouTubers and people like, man, do you see all the shit that they got? They didn't get shit. Did you know that they found hairs at Bryan Kohberger's house? Bitch, if you sent an FBI into my bedroom, you would find the hairs of so many different people. That's ridiculous. You do understand, this is a single 28-year-old man living alone. I'm pretty sure you're gonna find all kinds of hairs and fluids and all kinds of shit all over his house. And then they're like, well, what about the blood? How do you know he didn't have fucking acne or something that popped all over his bed or some crazy shit? How do you know he did? Listen, my mattress is blood soaked. Why? Because I'm like the ravioli kid in the old ravioli commercials. Your little 7 days a week don't stop me, baby. I'm just letting you know. My Red Wings has been here. So my shit is fucked up. You might find blood stains everywhere in my whole fucking house. I'm just being dead up honest with you. But let's get into this because so many people are talking, so let's take a look at the list. Let's look and see what these people got from their search warrant with Bryan Kohberger's apartment. One ultralight type black glove. I got those too. I got the black gloves too. Oh, what is that? I'm sorry, you're not ultralight. What is a nitrate type black glove? Excuse me, read it wrong. So now, the obvious question there is, where's the other one? It makes no sense to me, to be perfectly honest, to be all up in arms about this. We've been through the glove situation before. Need I remind you of OJ? And OJ did it. Sorry, Tyrone. Sorry, black people. OJ did it. Period. One woman, y'all won on that one. I just want to give a shout out to y'all. Y'all check for y'all. Y'all got one. Y'all got one over on us. That one. I'm just saying. Shout out to Nicole Brown Simpson. But anyway, I guess you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. One Walmart receipt with one Dickies tag. Okay. Now we need to know the context of this. I got receipts all over the place. I got Dickies all over the place. 2 Marshall receipts. Okay? Depends on what we're looking at here. You have to ask yourself, what could they possibly have that would connect it to the crime? And I've already found out that they do not sell vans at Marshall's. Because you notice what's not on this list, right? There is no van shoes. Why is that? So we need to find out what those receipts are. Maybe it's just receipts that put him in the area or certain places that triangulate a time. Maybe that is existent, but that's still circumstantial. Dust container from a Bizzle Power Force vacuum. Okay, now this could be interesting. But once again, they're just taking shots in the dark. Let's see what kind of dust and dirt and what he got off his floors that's stuck in his vacuum. 8 possible hair strands. Like I told you, bro. If you went in my bedroom, I guarantee you the amount of hair strands and DNA. Okay, so it's a shot in the dark. It doesn't mean that the hair strands belong to the Idaho 4. It means they collected it to check and see if it does. 1 Fire TV stick with cord and plug. They're just probably interested to see what kind of porn this man watches. I don't know. 1 possible hair strand. And I keep seeing people all over the place, like that goober that does the little 2-minute videos that sues everybody. I keep seeing everybody say, oh my God, this is Kaylee's dog. According to who? How do you know that he didn't have a female over and maybe she had a dog or a cat? Like, seriously. How do you know he didn't go sit in a restaurant where somebody with cat hair or dog hair sat down and it transferred onto his body? I saw one YouTuber say this was 100% Kaylee's dog. Why would you say that? There's literally no information and no evidence at all saying that or proving that or showing that. You're just these people are just dumb fucking people. They're literally just dumb fucking people. They're like, oh, look at all this treasure trove of evidence. This ain't shit. 1 possible hair. Look at this. By the way, let's just go ahead and 8 possible hair strands. We don't know if it's hair. 1 possible animal hair strand. Now, I admit, if that is that dog, then that's the nail in the coffin. 1 possible hair, 1 possible hair, 1 possible hair, and then oddly it says 1 possible hair strand. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Why would they differentiate that? Because when I was reading 1 possible hairs, that's the way I was looking at it, strands. Something tells me they've only got 1 long strand of hair, and everything else is micro samples, which could come from anything. 1 computer tower, that's just normal, everybody's got a computer. 1 collection of dark red spot, collected without testing. Let this sink in. Collected without testing. There's no way to know if that's blood, not blood, but even if there was blood, I have to change my bed and bedding between sexual partners. It's just the way it works, man. And ladies, men, I'm going to ask you a question. Go take I want you to listen. How many of you right now have microscopic or maybe even big blood spots on your mattress, underneath your sheet? Serious question. How many of you have them? Ladies, I'm sure if you live alone or whatever, I'm sure at some point you bled through onto your mattress. Men, married couples, if you guys are like me and periods don't stop you, I'm sure you got blood under at some point. Unless every single time you just scrub that shit gone. I'm being dead honest. I know it sounds like I'm being vulgar, but I'm being dead honest. How many of you motherfuckers right now, if you go lift your sheet up, you'll see some sort of blood stain somewhere? 2 cuttings from uncased pillow of reddish brown stain, larger stain tested. Once again, sometimes you bleed on your pillow at some point. It could be anything. It could be a nosebleed in the middle of the night. Could be anything. 2 top and bottom of mattresses over a package separately, both labeled C. Multiple stains, 1 tested. These motherfuckers are testing the mattresses. Bro, if they came in my house right now, that's exactly what my search warrant would look like. What does it really say? There's a bunch of hairs and stains all over the house? Shit. I'm going to be dead honest. And ladies, some of y'all are going to be visiting me at some point here. Walk in my house with one of them little fucking, what they call, with one of them damn blue lights or whatever. I promise you. You'll turn right the fuck back around and walk out. Swear to God you would. Because all of those stains, all of those hairs, all of those things exist not just in my bedroom, but your bedroom too. So is it really that weird that we found stains and blood and fluid in Kohberger's house? He's a grown-ass man. But you don't get it, JB. It must connect him to the crime. No, you're just a dumb bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's all this is. All of that shit that they just collected was so they can check it out. It doesn't mean it means anything. And they've already fucked up once. How do I know? Let's go back to the search warrant affidavit. I want to show you guys this. Because you guys have, I told you before, the DNA test that they took is not admissible in court. It will be thrown out. They have nothing on Bryan Kohberger, with the exception of the touch DNA. The touch DNA on the knife sheath. That's the only thing they got. Because they have absolutely nothing that puts him into place. Let me explain this to you now. When your phone pings off towers in an area, that can mean the whole area. He only lived 8 to 10 miles from the house. I ask all of you right now to ask yourself, 8 to 10 miles from your house right now, how many times has your phone pinged on it? They made a big deal. Well, it was 13 times in 2 months. Ladies and gentlemen, answer me in the comments section. Think about 8 to 10 miles from your house right now. How many times do you think your cell phone has pinged off them towers in the last 2 months? Then they're talking about a white Elantra. There is no plates. There is no identifying markers. There's no way to tell if it's the same one. If I'm the defense, that's what I'm saying. You have video evidence of a white Elantra, but you do not have video evidence of Bryan Kohberger or a dark figure. How could that be? How could that be? Now, let's take a look at this, all right? Because this is good. This is good. However, this is them seeking, the information is being provided to the court pursuant to my duty and obligation to be fully candid. This is from the sheriff or the state lab, Idaho State Lab. If the court, candid with the court, I do not believe this information is exculpatory for the suspect. However, if the court believes it is exculpatory, we're talking about the DNA test. The DNA they collected from the trash up here in Pennsylvania. They're talking about the trash DNA right here. I do not believe this information is exculpatory for the suspect. However, if the court believes it is exculpatory, then the court should consider this supplemental disclosure in its evaluation of the existence of probable cause or lack thereof. How did that wording exist in the Washington search warrant? They themselves are admitting. Let me show you. But I'm specifically asking the court not to consider this supplemental disclosure as evidence supporting the existence of probable cause. The reason for this request, listen carefully, is that if the DNA test results are held inadmissible at some point, such a ruling would not impact the findings of probable cause for this warrant, so long as the court satisfied as to probable cause, regardless of the DNA test result. Doesn't that seem like weird wording? Doesn't that seem like weird wording? Do you know why it's worded that way? There was no search warrant at all for the DNA, for the trash. And you think to yourself that it was still done legally because it's public property, not if it was on a private residence. I ask you this question. Do you think the FBI knocked on the neighbor's door and said, Ladies, do you mind if we get in your trash? We think your neighbor is a killer. Why would they do that when they don't know if the neighbor and Bryan Kohberger are friends or not? How do you know the neighbor isn't going to tip off Bryan Kohberger? I guarantee you we're going to find out there was no search warrant to get in that trash. They had no permission from the neighbors to dig in their trash. I assure you. I guarantee you. And that is why they're casting doubt on the DNA tests, on the DNA, particularly the fact that it was ancestral DNA and it came from his father. You clearly see it in the search warrant. They're saying, hey, we need some other shit because we don't know if this other DNA is going to be admissible in court. They have nothing. Nada. Zilch. As of right now, Bryan Kohberger walks, and if that fucking hurts your little feelings, I don't know what to tell you. Get better police. Get better evidence. Maybe they got better evidence. But right now, there's nothing. And I know what all of you guys are going to say. You're going to say, but what about the fact that he went to a vegan pizza place and had 2 vegan pizzas? So? What does that mean? I think we all understand. I think the question is, here's the truth. I think Bryan Kohberger knew these people. I think he partied at this house. I think it was a drug house. He followed 3 of them on Instagram, but none of them followed him back. That's normal. A lot of y'all follow me and shit. I don't follow y'all back either. If you're not on my phone trying to give me some pussy, what reason I got to follow you? But that's just me. The killer, the 5 reasons the killer has been charged, but at least 5 that suggest a conviction is not a slam dunk. Let's take a look at these reasons. DNA found, here's some of the 5 reasons he was found guilty. Number 1, the DNA was spotted on the sheath. That's touch DNA. That's not a grand slam. A car spotted at the scene. Are we sure that's Bryan Kohberger's car? Phone signal vanishes, by the way, during the time of the killings. That means you cannot use his phone to place him in the killings whatsoever. It's the truth. What we got here? They say he stalked the property 12 times before the killings. How do they know that for sure? How do they know he's not just in the area? Now let's look at Dylan. Surviving roommate failed to call the cops and gave a vague description of the suspect. That's not going to win in court. That ain't going to do shit in court. And so many of you guys have never been through court. You just sit here on your plump asses watching court TV and you think you know some shit. That's not the truth. There's nothing. I don't think you understand how difficult it is to try someone for murder. Police have not found the murder weapon. So we have the goofy Dylan, no murder weapon, no motive, by the way. Let's see if that's next on the list. No motive has been given for the grisly crimes. All right? They're talking about that. Now I get it. You're going to say, well, he liked vegan pizza. That's a motive. He followed him on Instagram. That's a motive. That's not a motive at all. What else? DoorDash delivery overlaps the time of the murders. Exactly. I think we all can agree with that. How can Bryan Kohberger be killing a bitch at the same time the DoorDash is there? And trust me, it's the exact same time. Both 4 a.m. How? I guess it's possible he waited. And number 5, DNA not found on the victims and could have been transferred. For someone that did such a murderous event, such a murderous scene, wouldn't there be DNA under the fingernails? Wouldn't there be DNA on the bodies? But there's DNA on the knife, Chief JB, so. If there's not Bryan Kohberger's DNA in that house, on them bodies, in that killing location, but there's all these other DNAs because it's a party house, you must have quit Bryan Kohberger. You have not proved his guilt whatsoever. Now, I admit to you right now, he looks like the guilty one. But you haven't proven shit. And all of you people that think there is proof, you've never been through the courts. You've never been through anything like this. You're just court TV people. Trust me when I tell you, every piece of evidence that exists right now is circumstantial. And any real lawyer would get Bryan Kohberger off. That's a fact. That's a fact. And you guys should root that on. Because if they cannot prove Bryan Kohberger murdered people, you should want Bryan Kohberger to walk just like I do. I'm not okay with an innocent man going to get the death penalty. And ladies and gentlemen, you have not proved his guilt to me. And the truth of this is, if there's even one juror on that jury that thinks like me, you didn't prove his guilt to them either. Bryan Kohberger is walking. Trust me. You'll remember I said it here. We're going to cover the whole trial. Bryan Kohberger is walking. I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. Guys, if you like what I do here and you find it valuable, feel free to hit the links, support the channel. Obviously, I'm in a lot of pain, a lot of injury. I'm not giving you enough content. I'm falling short. I apologize to all of you. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this video, my opinion. Your opinion is always valued. Maybe we could sit down and have a discussion about it, debate. I don't know. Maybe I can open up the panels one day. I'm trying to recover, though. I think I got pneumonia now. Awesome, right? I love you guys. I will see you soon. Peace out.